trousers and motorcycle boots and a black leather jacket with an eagle on the back. He had a hopped-up sickle that took off like a gun. That fool was the terror of Highway 101.
Hey, here we are, another episode of Steel Steeds Motorcycle Magazine, the online magazine for real bikers who ride real bikes. Got a few things run past you. Some has to do with the last video. Well, let me get this out of the way first. Eyewear. A lot of states you gotta wear eye protection when you ride a bike. Not all of them, but even the ones you don't. Look, I'm not for helmet laws, I'm not for seatbelt laws, but wearing safety, goggles, wearing goggles, or just sunglasses while you're riding just makes sense, okay? Hey, these things are neat too. I got one. Dimple's got me here. I'm sure you're familiar with them, but they really come in handy. One hand to open them, boom, boom, nice. But I got these from Bird's Eyewear. I actually got them from eBay, but they're sold by Bird's Eyewear. And I got 4 of them for a little over $40. They claim to be shatterproof. Yeah, I don't know. But they work pretty good. They even come with a little case there. They will wear out though in like one season. You might squeeze 2 seasons out of them. But this foam starts coming off. But don't get me wrong, they work good. These here, on the other hand, these were a present to me from Miss Dimples. And they'll last you 5, 6, 8 years. I'm not kidding. And if you want to wear your regular glasses underneath these, you can. Some people say, well, why would you want to wear goggles when you already had the glasses on? But a lot of guys, girls, whatever, don't like the wind coming in from the side, and these prevent that. And plus, you still get, if you're wearing glasses, you still get bugs that'll fly in from the side and hit you. These prevent all that. And if you're wearing contact lenses, the goggles, either or, are a must. Because if not, the wind will dry out your contacts and you'll be dropping them off on the road. But, okay, that's out of the way. I wanted to say a few things about our last video at the Hellbender Hootenanny. Had a great time there. It was awesome. I screwed up. I screwed up big time. And I want to make sure I'm not screwing up this time, because I had the microphone covered. Somehow or another, on these lapel mics, the little button on the side, it got turned off. I think I was trying to make sure it was there, because, if they pop off, I'm always worried about them popping off and have to buy new ones. I think it turned it off. Okay. So we had run probably an hour of video footage when I realized there was no sound on it. So the video you've seen on YouTube, I had to go back and record a lot of it again, which was fine. We got it done. I gave you I gave you the entire Wheels of Thrills stunt show, Wall of Death act. And it's worth watching that video just to see that. They're a good bunch of guys and a gal. Dallas Dan, he owns it. That's not his real name. These guys like to go by their show names. I remember one time Charlie Ransom, who rode for the American Motor Drome, I asked him well, you got a real name you want me to put down here? And he said, well, at this point, my own mother calls me Charlie Ransom, so just put it down. But Dallas Dan and Cowboy Bobby, really good guys. And I've said many times in magazine articles in the past that Charlie Ransom was the best wall walker around. I mean, he'd sit side saddle, no hands, stand up with no hands. Well, after seeing Cowboy Bobby ride, and his boss, Dallas Dan, says the same thing, he's probably the best wall walker there has been in, say, the past 20 years or so. Fantastic, very skilled. He's only been doing it for 5 years, but he does it well, and very entertaining, and a really, really nice guy. But with that out of the way, there's a part of the video that I took out that I'm going to put on this. It's the bike games. And these chicks called the Valkyries, they got a cycle club called the Valkyries, all girls. They were running the cycle games, motorcycle games. And look, I'm not going to ask you to take my word for it. I'm just going to show you the video at the end of this and tell me that these bitches weren't about aggravating. They seem to be so disorganized and busy bitching each other instead of getting the bike games out of the way. I don't want to take nothing from the Hootenanny because it was fantastic, okay? I advise you to get there and go there. And these Valkyries, they were volunteering their time. I don't think they were making a dime out of it to try to help out. But God, you don't put women in charge of such a thing. Sandwich making, yes, put them in charge of that. Laundry detail, sure. Any kind of cooking, yes. Don't put them in charge of the bike games. There was something else really disturbing that I didn't witness, but I heard about it. The weenie bike competition, they had guys sitting on the back seat, gobbling down a weenie on the weenie stand, whatever you call it, the weenie bike stand. This is not the way it's supposed to be. That is totally unnatural. And guys, if you think it's funny, it's not. Don't be playing that dumb shit. I don't know what that was about, but don't be doing it. As far as the Hootenanny goes, I'll be back there next year if they'll have us. It was a damn good show, damn good bike show. Now you'll say, well, asshole, you didn't show the bike show on the video. Why not? Well, as I told you, I already went through and videotaped everything once. And whenever I did, by the time I got around to doing it the second time, the bike show was over. You want to see pictures of those bikes? Pick up an Easy Rider, probably the next edition, maybe the edition after that, but I'm thinking the next edition. And you'll see my story in there on the Hellbender Hootenanny. And we took a lot of good pictures of the bikes, and there were a lot of damn sweet machines there. So check it out in Easy Riders magazine. Another problem I had there, and this will make a moto journalist hard stop. I lost my notebook. I used to put on the front page, reward will be given and a phone number, and I quit doing that. I got to start doing it again. You get busy talking, you're picking up parts, you're messing with the cameras. these things happen. I'm not going senile. Granted, I've been hit in the head a lot of times in my life, but I'm not gone senile yet, and I hope I never do. And I've not completely lost my mind. But no matter what, even if you haven't been hit in the head as much as me, you get to doing so many things, and kaboom, it's gone. I think I'm going to blame it on Dimples. She should have been holding it for me. And no, I'm just kidding. But anyway, we got that out of the way. Gettysburg Bike Week is coming up. All right. Me and Dimples are going. She told me, though, that she doesn't want to be working the whole damn time. She said, look, I'll go. I'll work for a while, but we're going to do something other than work there, asshole. Okay, she didn't call me an asshole, but telepathy. I knew she was thinking it. And I pay this girl a fortune to do photography work for me. A fortune. And she can show you that $1 bill that I paid her. Damn. But anyway, the Gettysburg Bike Week's coming up. Last year, I went and got some press passes off these people. I'm not doing it this year. God, they wanted me to jump through hoops and fill out 23 forms to get a press pass from them. I'm not kissing your ass to get a press pass from you. I wrote for several different magazines. I've been doing this for 23 years. When I call you, just give me the damn press pass. The Hootenanny, that's what they did. An event coming up later, late summer or fall. I'll get you the date, but you can look it up. The Germantown Hoedown. I call them, boom. I get the thing. Every damn place, every AMA event, every non-AMA event, I call them or I text them, email them and say I need a couple press passes. Okay, Dave, here you go. So I wasn't happy when the bitch had me fill out three pieces of paper after her father had asked me to come to it. And it's a good event, but there's enough stuff going on outside of the part where you pay. There's Battlefield Motorcycle. They used to be Battlefield Harley-Davidson. I think their names changed. I'm not sure if they're a straight-up real Harley dealer anymore. I'll get that information for you when I'm up there. But they have a lot of do-and-ons. Plus, we like to go up by the battlegrounds and watch the bikes come through, get some pictures of it, So, I don't know. I don't even think I'm going to ask for a press pass. We don't really need it. But we're going to do that. And for the person who's been gone in my freaking house while I'm away, try it this time. I got me a house sitter that packs a big ass gun. And he's not afraid to use it. But I had to get a house sitter. That's how bad things are in eastern Kentucky. I admit the only thing taken, this is going to sound pretty silly, but the only thing taken was a recharging cord. It's the only thing I found missing. But one of my beds in the spare room upstairs had been slept in. I don't get it. I can't explain it. But anyway, I just want to leave a message in case somebody's following this and finding out what weekends I leave. I will have a house sitter, so don't get yourself shot, Go work for a living. Get your own place. Get your own damn bed to sleep in. At least I thank you for not stealing anything while you were there. except for the charging cord. I don't know what that was about, and I'm not kidding. One other thing I got to tell. Well, two other things. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's blame it on the head injuries. Let me take a sip of my mug frosty root beer. Great shit. They should sponsor me. This also happened at the Hootenanny. Now, it's not that I think you give a shit about my life. It's not that. But I tell you these stories to make you feel better about your own life. Because as I told you, I considered the weekend we had to be a great weekend. Dimples was there. We did have a great time. But a lot of people would have curled up in a ball and cried themselves till they fell asleep, if all these things happened to them. It wasn't just the notebook I mentioned. It wasn't just the microphones I mentioned. Dimples wasn't feeling very well. I dropped her off at the motel. And motel hotel is considered a hotel. I think it was a motel, but it was considered a hotel. I went down to Walmart to grab up some groceries. And whenever I came out, I got in my car. I could not find my freaking keys. They weren't in the ignition. I always leave my keys in the car. I lived most of my life in a glorious place called Lone Pine, Pennsylvania. How much crime do you think there is in Lone Pine, Pennsylvania? Zero. Nada. So anyway, it wasn't in the ignition. I'm checking my pockets. I'm out of the car, patting myself down, trying to find the keys. Some asshole comes up behind me and says, "Hey, are you looking for these?" And he has my keys in his hand. So I got, you can well expect I got pretty confrontational. I said, "Yeah, what the hell are you doing with them? What the hell are you doing?" Or something along those lines. And he got out his little wallet and badge and said, "Whoa, I'm a sheriff's deputy." This is from the Summersville, West Virginia area, Mount Nebo area. He says, "I'm a sheriff's deputy." Well, he didn't have on a uniform, and his personal car was parked in one of those spaces that say, "Reserved for our law enforcement partners," that they put out in Walmart. And I hate that. I don't know why Walmart does that. Them some bitches can walk to the damn Wally World from, whatever space is available. Most of the time, the assholes don't even use the space. They just pull into the fire lane and go in. But I park in those spaces. You damned right I do. Because piss on them cops, and you can't be fined for pulling in the reserved for police spots. You can, if you don't have a handicap placard or a handicap plate, you can be fined for pulling in the handicap. And it's pretty big fine. But anyway, this joker starts to tell me that he thinks that leaving my keys in the car is illegal. It's not. It was at one time in West Virginia, which kind of shocked me. But in 2018, they came to their senses and figured if you want to leave your damn keys in the car, you can leave your damn keys in the car. So that rule's been knocked off the books. But he said, I think it's illegal. Then he started and I asked him, he started bitching about me. He said, I seen your Kentucky plates, and I seen you were parked in the reserved for police spot, and I just was looking in the car, just checking things. I said, you ain't got to look in my car. What the hell's wrong with you? I says, is it illegal for me to park in that spot? No, but you could respect, you could obey the signage. And I said, screw the signage. Well, I guess you don't have any respect for us. A lot of people, they give us these spaces because they, respect us. I said, yeah, I ain't got no respect for you. I said, are you crippled? He said, no. And I said, well, why you need a special spot near the door? Oh, I told you, it's just out of respect they give them to us. Screw you. If he would have been on duty and he would have had a body cam, I would be taking these pricks to court, okay? But he was off duty, had his private car there, and a bunch of like fake flowers made out of cloth in the backseat. I don't know what that was about, but maybe it's a hobby of his, making flower arrangements. I don't know. Most cops are at least half gay. But anyway, so once he couldn't, he knew he wasn't gonna buffalo me. He knew I wasn't gonna take his shit. And I finally asked him, well, are you gonna fine me, for either of these, which you're thinking is an infraction? No, I'm not gonna fine you. And then he follows me out the road, right up my ass, and I'm going slow as shit, hoping he'll pass. It made me pass up where I should have turned into the hotel. About 4 miles down the road later, he passed me, and I found a place to turn around and came back. No harm, no foul, but it was still aggravating, you know what I mean? And here's the real kicker. Stayed at this, that hotel. It's a Best Western. There's something else added to the title too, but it's a Best Western. I booked it with Travelocity. And, of course, it was owned by a happy Hindu, guys from India. And I got up, but the place was pretty clean because the cleaning crew weren't from India. They were a bunch of white women from the States. So it was clean, and it would have been a halfway decent stay. Cost more than it should have. $100 for a hotel that's not in the least bit fancy. I think that's a bit much. And the price of these hotels have gone up 33% in the last 5 years. That's bullshit. And it's all because of foreign investors, Indians buying up all our freaking motels. But me and Dimples, it was getting kind of late. We were getting ready to go to bed. And I hear this big crash on the wall. Well, there's a biker event nearby. So I figured, two bikers wrestling around a little bit. I wasn't going to make a big shit of it. Boys will be boys. Men will be men. But, that wasn't the end of it. Then I heard some guy, sound like he was on the phone, say, I hate you, you bitch. You fucking bitch. I hate you, bitch. Just going on, like that. And then he started, dropping F-bombs like crazy. Just a heavy stream of F-bombs. And then every once in a while, he'd break into laughter and be clapping. At first, we thought there was several people over there. Turned out it was one nutcase guy. Called the front desk, said, hey, can you do something about this guy? And I think you better check on your room because I think he's about bashing your walls in. Well, he's a little upset because he invited 2 friends over and they didn't show up. The hell? So it's okay for him to tear up your room and disturb the other customers? Made no sense. I got a feeling, I think he might have been a relative of the owner's. It's the only thing, or is a gay lover, I don't know. But anyway, for some reason, they didn't want to deal with him at all. And at one point, she told me he's going to move to one of his other rooms. One of his other rooms? Yeah, we rented him out 3 rooms. He rented out the other 2 rooms to his friends, 2 of his friends, and they never showed up. I can't believe this guy would have 2 damn friends, all right? Total Looney Tune. Why? Okay, I can see you only got 2 beds in the room. I can see renting out 2 rooms I'm not sure what this 3-room thing was about. And at one point, they admitted that he was acting really strange when he was renting the rooms. So maybe you tell him, no rooms. And I guess they have a policy about against renting to locals. And a lot of hotels, motels do that because they don't want some local married guy bringing his girlfriend there and then having his girlfriend come up guns a-blazing, or vice versa, woman staying there with her boyfriend, married woman, and her husband comes up guns a-blazing. I've encountered that before where they don't want to rent to locals. And I had my house burned down and I tried to rent a local hotel. Some people just wouldn't do it, which is insane. My house burnt down, fools. But anyway, she said she'd try to do something about it, and she didn't. About 2 in the morning, I called back again. That's when she told me he was going to move to one of the other rooms, and I had to call again at 3. No, that's when they told me he was going to move to the other rooms. At 2 o'clock, she told me that she was didn't feel comfortable with going and talking to the nutcase. Okay. I told her that I'd gladly go up there and deal with them, and she didn't want no parts of that. No, don't do that. So I got like 3 hours sleep. They said he was moving to another room. It was so late, we just fell asleep. At 6 o'clock in the morning, there was banging on the walls again. Okay? Now you'd think after I went through all this, that the hotel would comp my room with no problem. And I told them the next morning, I said, I want my money back on the first night's stay, and I want the room canceled for tonight. I'm going to get another place. Oh no, don't do that. We're having him moved. He won't be near you. And I'm sure the owner will comp the room. The owner, the next morning, after I stayed there 2 nights, I'm getting into the car, packing Dimple's 40 suitcases, and this lady comes down and says, the owner can only do 15% off for you. Not 50% off, 15% off. And I said, after 20 million phone calls come Monday, after we got back and stuff, I did get the room comped, and they gave me a coupon. I think Dimples thinks it's a coupon for a flight, though, Travelocity gave me. Got a little problem with that. I'm on a no-flight list. I cannot get on a damn plane. So I got to take care of that. But that was the weekend, but it was still wonderful. And so Dimples doesn't say, you got a problem with me bringing 40 suitcases, asshole? No, I don't have no problem with it because she always dresses to the nines, always looks perfect. So no, I have no problem with that at all. But I think that's about it. Remember, Gettysburg this weekend. If you're anywhere near the area, go check it out. The Battlegrounds is worth checking out. Go and show some respect for the brave men who died there. And even though I'm kind of partial to the Confederate side, there were brave men on both sides, you know, who fought their asses off. Most of the Northern soldiers, they didn't even really know what they were fighting for. They really didn't want to be involved in a fight. Most of them were draftees. They either went there and fought, or they'd find themselves in a work camp. So they went there and fought. But the Civil War, I tell you what, it was that era was a time when bravery and integrity were the norm. Cowardice was the exception. Now I'm afraid cowardice is the norm and bravery is the exception, and that's sad. Not in our fucking community, though. In the biker world, bravery is still the norm, and we want to keep it that way. I think I covered everything. My group here. Still trying to get that sponsorship, but we'll talk to you later. Steel Steed Motorcycle Magazine, the online magazine for real bikers who ride real motorcycles. I gotta come down here with you, baby. Ouch! Oops. I'm editing that out of the footage. Am I in your way?
Jerry, can they put their feet down? No! You can't put your feet down.
There's a damn drone. Take out your pistol and shoot that thing. Holy shit. These are the bike games. Anyway, you get the idea. Want to see more? Make it here next year.